So let's talk about Google Kubernetes Engine. Now, Google Kubernetes Engine is simply a way to deploy a Kubernetes service inside of the Google Cloud. It lets us build out and deploy Kubernetes without having to worry about managing and maintaining the underlying infrastructure and software that goes into hosting Kubernetes. Now, if you're not familiar with Kubernetes, well, it's kind of a big topic and it's pretty complex, more than we can cover here, but I do want to introduce it a little bit so that we understand what it is that GKE offers to us. So Kubernetes is largely a container management service, which means that Kubernetes does not exist without containers. You may have heard of containers being referred to or managed with Docker, and that is absolutely true. You use Docker to manage containers, but containers are really their own separate thing. They are an isolated collection of software. The way to envision a container is almost like a small little separate machine running on top of your operating system managed by something like Docker. And all of your software is installed inside of a container. Now, there are really two kind of features of containers that I think are important to talk about. The first is portability. A container is completely portable. All of the software that you install inside of a container is associated with that single container image, that binary file. It can be uploaded to a container registry. It can be deployed and spun up on multiple computers or even multiple times on the same computer. So you have this nice bundled up piece of software called a container. But containers are also isolated. Like I depicted here in this image, containers do not interact with each other unless you specifically program them to and configure them to. Otherwise, you can have software inside of containers that is totally conflicting with one another, but because they are isolated, it doesn't matter. They can run on the same computer. Containers are often compared with virtual machines, and they provide some of the same services as virtual machines through isolation and portability, but they are notably very, very different. The biggest difference, of course, is that containers do not run an operating system. So there is no operating system running inside of containers. Containers share and use the host operating system. This means that virtual machines are heavier, they use more resources, they're slower to spin up, they take more work to manage and maintain, whereas containers are very lightweight and very portable and very easy to spin up and spin down. So they're really ideally used for things like a microservice architecture. If you're familiar with microservices, that's where you separate your application into a bunch of independent asynchronous services that all communicate with one another. So where does Kubernetes come in? Well, this particular architecture of containers, because they're portable and fast and they have low resource utilization and you can spin up multiple containers on a single machine, makes them really ideal to distribute across a big workload, a bunch of different machines, which is kind of what we've depicted here in this image. So Kubernetes is what allows you to manage multiple containers, including multiple copies of the same container, over one or more hosts. So in this image here, this gray area represents each host. You can imagine each of those as being a single virtual machine running in, for instance, Google Cloud, if you have Google Compute Engine, and your containers get deployed on those. And in some instances, you have two separate containers running on one machine. Sometimes you might have three copies of the same container. So you can imagine a service, say a web service that's got, 5 different containers or 5 different copies rather of the same container hosting the front-end web interface that people interact with. And then you've got 2 or 3 back-end containers that are doing back-end processing. They're totally separate from one another. They interact, they communicate, but they don't run together. So you can spin up different numbers of copies of the front-end service versus the number of copies of the back-end service. Kubernetes allows you to very easily manage and maintain all of that and efficiently distribute all of those different copies of containers across one or more compute engine instances, one or more nodes. So with Kubernetes, we can deploy a whole collection of containers. We can scale up and scale down, and Google Kubernetes Engine is allowing us to do all of that inside of the cloud. In fact, Google Kubernetes Engine runs on Google Compute Engine. We learned about that a little bit, right? Virtual machines in the cloud. Kubernetes calls those nodes, and the nodes inside of GKE are just compute engine instances. So Kubernetes handles load balancing across those nodes, including both the distribution of traffic, so different requests that are coming into your containers are distributed to multiple copies of your containers, but also the distribution of the containers themselves. If you want 5 containers running across 2 nodes, GKE will figure out the most efficient way to run those containers on those nodes so that you use efficient resource utilization. They also offer something called node pooling, which allows you to create sub-collections of nodes inside of your clusters, your instances. There's auto-scaling and auto-repairing so that Google Kubernetes Engine can respond to changing workloads. If there's an increase in traffic, it can scale out and add more containers to your cluster. And if there's a reduction in traffic, it can scale back and reduce the number of containers that are running in your cluster. Auto repair can ensure that if a container goes down, it can be brought right back up, or a new copy of it can be brought right back up so it continues to answer requests and serve the workload. Logging and monitoring is a big feature in pretty much every Google service, and GKE offers a lot of built-in automated logging and monitoring services. And there's a real neat thing called autopilot, which allows Google to figure out the most efficient way to even build out the amount of compute and memory and storage space that you need to host your service. So in standard GKE, you get to choose how many compute instances you want, how many nodes, and how they're clustered. But with autopilot, you let Google figure that out the cheapest and most efficient way. And it's pretty neat. It's a pretty ideal situation. So Google Kubernetes Engine allows us to distribute a Kubernetes service on the cloud. Now, Kubernetes is only really particular for specific use cases. You may not run into it, but if you do, this is a much easier, faster way to get up and running on the Kubernetes engine versus trying to host your own clusters inside of your own data center. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.